Okay, I think we are on. And I forgot to check my phone, but I'm sure our phone is fine. Okay, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Hello and welcome, my friends. We have an exceptional guest this evening. We are so excited. I am so excited to have Bobbi. Oh, I hope I say this right.
You
Chicken
will.
Pigwin. Chicken Pigwin? Is that right?
It's Chegwyn.
Chegwin? Okay. Well, when you did that, when you've written it out, I like, okay, I got this.
Yeah, yeah. It's not so much heard of in this country, but look, go to Wales and everyone will know how to pronounce it.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to call you Bobby C. So
Absolutely
we
fine.
have Bobby C with us, and she is going to chat about the 6 core human needs and empty nesting. And I will be sharing my favorite oil blends that have helped me with my life stressors that might be something for you to try. Okay. So thank you for joining us.
Thanks
Footie's
for
here,
having me.
coming to you with a cup of kindness and inspiration. Ah, I inspire women, busy women, to take their essential oils and merge them with practicing meditation, vision boards, theme related DIYs, freeing themselves from the daily stress of their everyday lives by creating while learning to use their essential oils. So let's get right to Bobbi. Okay, Bobbi is the author of The 12 Steps of Self Improvement
Okay.
and creator of the Self Inventory for the Savvy Sisterhood Workshop. In addition, this remarkable woman has contributed to self help features for Cleo and Cosmopolitan magazines in Australia, wrote the weekly Life Matters column for an Australian newspaper. Awesome. Bobby, oh my gosh. How in the world? Where did you come up with all this?
Well, it's been going for a long time. So this is from like 2008 onwards. So it's not like I did all of that like last week or anything. I have paced it out a little bit.
I love it. Oh my gosh. So, how did this emptiness support network come about?
Well, it was really through my own need to find support, help, assistance, advice, tools, tips, knowledge, techniques. After I became an empty nester about 14 months ago, I was in such a low place. Within 6 months, my youngest daughter had left home, and my father also passed away. He was my last remaining parent. And not just the fact that she left home and my dad passed away, but this was all happening 15,000 kilometers away in Australia. So all our 5 children are on another continent. And it just sent me spiraling because I had identified and absolutely loved the job of mothering for 20 plus years. And all of a sudden it was gone. And I never really thought about what life would be like afterwards. In fact, during stressful times, I would think, oh, for God's sake, I can't wait till you all leave home and I get some peace and quiet and all that sort of stuff. But I never actually thought about the impact it would have. And it had a major, major impact. And I trained as a life coach way back in 2008, and I had coached in Australia for a long time. And 6 months after my youngest daughter left home, and after spending months trying to search for help, I decided that the right way for me to go was to help myself. But when I do tend to help myself and coach myself, I really have the desire to bring other people along with me for the ride. I find it's so cathartic for me to I'm helping myself when I'm helping other people. And that seems to be the best way I get through major life transitions. Back in 2009, I got divorced, and I had learned or studied to become a life coach for the previous 12 months, which was a wonderful coincidence, even though I don't believe in them. But then I was able to help women in transition, such as divorce, and so that helped me at that time. And so I decided I wanted to resurrect the whole idea of helping other people whilst I help myself. And I started back in June the Empty Nest Support Network, which is growing and growing. And this month I've launched the Fly Mum Fly program, which is a 6-week program for empty nest mums wondering what's next.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Now, I did do a little background check on you.
Right.
So I mean, you got to tell people what your past life was all about, because I found that so much fun. I really did.
Right. And my past life in Australia?
I think it was in Australia.
Right. Okay. So I was oh, right. No, right. No, that was actually over here. So
Oh my
so
gosh. Okay, I
yes,
didn't
so
even put that together because I just yeah, I just thought buses are
yes,
buses.
no. So I don't know if anyone can identify, but I am a bit like a squirrel. I'll go after shiny objects. And
Yes.
it was such a thing to move over to the United States from Australia in 2018. And I had shut up shop in relation to my coaching business back home because I was embarking on this whole new thing. And so we got over here, and my husband said, look, just do something that makes you happy, whether it's volunteering or just go out and get a job. Just do something that's going to keep you busy. And I thought, well, I always saw on TV and in the movies growing up, those big yellow American buses. I know I'm going to go out and I'm going to learn how to drive a 30,000 pound, 30-foot long vehicle, which drives on the other side of the road than we drive in Australia. And I'm going to ferry all these kids around in my local community, because that's going to be the best way to get to know what my town here is like, and to get to know the school system and the families and the kids and all the things that go on. So I did that for a couple of years. It's so random. It's so random, but I had the time of my life.
You did. I was like I was actually looking for something else, and I stumbled upon, you know, I think it was an old Facebook group or something.
Right.
You are hilarious. Oh my gosh. I was like, I love this lady. I just thought you were so cool. I thought to do that. Me, I would probably have an accident. I don't even, my father was a Baltimore Transit bus driver.
Was he really?
Yes, and he loved it. And
Yes.
we used to go on, I guess I call them field trips.
Yes.
We would get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and my mother would drive us down to the bus station, and we would get on, my brother and I, or sometimes it was like me by myself or my brother by himself, and we would go to work with him all day.
It must have been fun.
It was so much fun. So when you were saying that, I thought, oh my gosh, that is so great. But when we were older, he thought we were going to be bus drivers. And so he took us down, to take a test and all this. And I went, that's not for me.
Mm. The
I
test
don't,
is
I'm not
really
driving
hard.
this big old bus, because by the time I was able to do that, the buses got bigger.
Right.
They were not the small buses, and he started off with the trolleys. Now, if we had trolleys, yeah, I think I could handle that. You're on a
Yeah.
track, I can't go wrong, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, he wanted us to, and I thought, there is no way that I could drive a bus through Baltimore City.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. But when I was reading all about you, I just thought, how amazing. How amazing. You're like my hero. I just love
Oh,
it.
Like I said, I go after the shiny objects. So it's
Oh,
a lot of the time I'm not thinking, it's like, oh, that looks really good. And then I have to think, okay, how do I actually do this? And
yes,
but it usually works out. And that's the thing. I think I go into it with an optimistic attitude, and life tends to work out.
you
So
just
I
go
just keep
for it.
going.
Yes. I do want to do a shout out. Julie Fairhurst. Hello, my beautiful lady. Julie's saying hello. Oh my gosh. Well, I just yeah. So what else do you want to tell us about your program? You have a program that you're going to launch?
I do. It's already been launched, and in fact,
Okay.
it's in its beta phase at the moment. So it's priced considerably less. As I go through it, I'm currently going through it with the students, and all the content's there, but I'm getting feedback, and so I can improve it. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I like everything to be really, really good. So at the moment,
I
it's
can do that.
there, and I've got women working through it, and I'm tweaking and pivoting as we go just to really make it perfect. But look, the thing is, there are so many things that come with empty nesting. And there's a need to rediscover who you are and reconnect with who you are, and then really do a deep dive into finding out all this stuff about you that may have been pushed aside or put aside whilst we raised kids and embodied life as a mom. And also the fact before we were married to now, where we can be vastly different people. So it really is a deep dive into self-discovery, taking a lot of self-inventory. I love doing that. And I think there's so much power, wisdom, and knowledge to be found when we take self-inventory and really understand that we are the drivers of our life experience. So this program is to allow women to create their post-nest plan so they can rock their reignited self. It's about really discovering who you are and then matching that up with what what they value, and then coming up with something that will allow them a new identity, a purposeful identity, will allow them connection with others. There are all these things that empty nest mums appear to be lacking once the kids leave home.
Yes. Yeah, I can, it's funny because when you asked me a couple weeks ago about that, and I said, hallelujah. Oh my God, they're
Yeah.
off. But we had 5 kids
Yes.
together. Not, I didn't have 5 kids by myself, but there was always somebody home. So um, we never felt like, oh my gosh,
Mm.
this is, what's happening here. Um, but I also relate to a lot of stuff that you're talking about because, there's that loss of a family member,
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, it's the same grief.
Sure.
Yeah,
It
it's the
is.
same grief. So I can remember back then when all these changes were happening. This one going off to college, this one doing that, this one dying. I can remember a period where I just felt like, oh my gosh, I can't deal with this. I'm overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
So I can relate. But when we were talking, a couple weeks ago, I was just thinking on that scale of, okay, our kids are going off to college. Well, I can't relate to that because it took forever, because there were
Yes.
5 of them.
Yes. And it's interesting because the any grief and pain that comes up will be unique to each individual based on what do they believe is missing. And often, and this brings us to the 6 core human needs, often we don't really understand what is missing, but in relation to the core needs there, I have found it's interesting because the 6 core needs are certainty, love and connection, significance, variety, growth, and contribution. And about 6 months ago, I was thinking about these, and I was thinking, and then I thought, hang on. And then I thought again, and then I looked again, and I thought, you have these buckets that are so filled as a parent. So there's a lot of certainty because, there's a lot of routine. Love and connection. Oh, yeah, okay, we've pretty much got that if we're lucky. Significance. Well, hello, we're the mother. So we're the it person, the cleaner, the taxi driver, variety. Well, you never know what's going to pop up. And there's all these school activities and events and parties and whatever. Growth. I mean, I don't know about you, pre-children, but I'm a totally different person from having them. And then the last core need is contribution, and that's really what we're doing by raising our children. Hopefully, contributing to their well-being, their success, their maturity, their understanding of life. And once kids leave home, no matter which core need might be more prevalent for you or more desired, the levels just drop. And I was thinking about this 6 months ago, and I thought, oh, no wonder we are where we are a lot of the time, because it's taken away from us like that. And unfortunately, I'm assuming that not a lot of women are going around going, right, yes, now I do realize that the 6 core needs, they've been depleted now because my child has left home. So I do need to find helpful ways that I can refill those buckets. People aren't really going around thinking of this sort of stuff.
No, you don't. Yeah.
You don't. And it's like, wow, if only we could all have an understanding of who we are and what makes us tick and what's important to us, understanding not only our values, but our core needs, and understanding how our beliefs shape our lives, understanding the gift of gratitude and appreciation, understanding our own identity and our purpose, whatever that may be. There are so many things that an empty nest mum can do to lessen that pain and to be able to move forward in this phase of life more confidently with a clear direction to a desired destination of contentment that is personally made up for her and personally suits who she is as a unique human being.
Well put. Well put. Yes.
Thank you.
So,
sorry. And I was just going to say, we do tend to favor one core need or maybe a couple over the next. And there are ways to fill those buckets up, but it's really good to be mindful the ways in which we are filling up or we're experiencing those core needs. For instance, if one of your core needs is love and connection, there's a helpful and a harmful way to be able to experience any of these core needs. So you take love and connection. Well, you might maybe be one to say, well, I'm going to go out to the local bar, I'm going to get drunk, and I'm just going to hook up with any guy. And that's pretty harmful, in my opinion. It's not really the safest. You don't really know who you're meeting. Or how else can you go after love and connection? Find out about you, what interests you. Maybe there's a community group or a volunteering opportunity, or doing something like this online with other people. There are helpful ways and harmful ways to have all of these core needs met. But the idea is just to be careful when we are so grief-stricken as new empty nesters, with the pain and the shock and the trauma and the fog that comes over us. Just be careful of refilling those core needs with something that may not be so helpful.
Exactly. And it is easy to fall into those traps.
For sure.
Yeah, it is.
Especially if things are a feel good and a quick fix, like something that provides you with, a couple of hours I mean, even something like it could be anything like drinking or something like that. You've really got to think, okay, well, this is might be feeling great for a couple of hours, but really, what is it doing long term? So the idea is to really look within and find out who you are. And that's what we do in the Fly Mum Fly program. It's such a deep dive into each unique person, and discovering what they really want to go after in relation to these 6 core needs that are going to be truly helpful, truly life changing, and something that really does tick the boxes for them.
That's amazing. So how does someone um, find you?
So the easiest web address is the emptiness-support-network.com.
Okay. I will make sure that I add that. Let me do that right now so I don't forget. Empty Nest
Supportnetwork.com.
Support Network.
That's it.
Okay. And because after I do this, then I will then I add this all into the group. Okay. Yes. Is
Yes.
there
And
anything
this
else you want to add to this? I know you were going to offer something.
I wasn't. I was just about to say that. So, if anyone wants to go to the website, there's a free ebook that you're able to download, and it's 10 reasons why you may not be happy and 10 remedies so you can be.
It's amazing. I already read it. It's really good. So I will add that to the post, when
Mhm.
we're finished. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is so awesome. So what I did is I just started to research. This is what I do. I'll
Mhm.
research oils. Oh my gosh, there were so many. It was overwhelming for me because there were so many oils.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, I can't give them a Bible on this, but I should do a class on it. I just realized that I should do a workshop on this for people, and maybe you and I can get together. So I was appalled because sadly, there are studies that have been done. There are about 40 million American adults. That's just Americans, ladies, that suffer from anxiety issues.
Mhm.
That is really sad. And when you are in that high anxiety mode for long periods, this can lead to high blood pressure, sleep issues, digestive problems, and many other health related issues. It's crazy. So I'm hoping I can bring your heart and your mind together in a happy place. So I can relate to a lot of this because I used to suffer from panic attacks. And I would put myself in such a tizzy over going live on Facebook, something so simple. And honestly, I can't tell you why I was so afraid to talk into my phone, but the thought would put me in a frozen state and I literally would not be able to speak. And then my I would have to do these in-house classes when I started doing doTERRA as a business, and I didn't particularly care for standing in front of a bunch of people and doing a presentation. So I would bathe myself in spearmint and balance before going live or presenting, literally. And you have no idea. I mean, we're taught not to bathe ourselves, but I did. I literally would rub it all over my body. Okay.
Yeah.
So spearmint and balance were my go-to oils to calm me down and make me comfortable speaking. I actually heard Haley Hobson chat about this years ago. She used to feel anxious going on stage, and if you know Haley, your jaw would drop because she does not appear that she would ever have trouble talking in front of people. I mean, she's like number two, number one on the list that makes the most money in doTERRA, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. But she, she would tell us, that, oh my gosh, I knew I could do it, but getting me on that stage, it was frightful for her. So what I did is I collected my favorites, my favorite oils, and then I added a couple. So ADAPTIV. Everybody knows this is my number one essential oil,
Mhm.
and the capsules. I think it's been out like for a few years now. I can't remember when they actually promoted this. But anyway, adaptive calming blend capsules can help manage the effects of everyday tension, anxiety, worried feelings that occasionally arise in our lives. I rub the oil over my heart. I take the capsule if I notice I'm feeling out of sorts. And of course, um, this is a trial and error with everybody because what works for me may not
Mhm.
actually work for you. So
Okay.
that's what I have to tell people. So because I now know that if I feel like, oh crap, I'm just going to be crazy, then I'll take it. Where in the very beginning, I took it in the morning and then I took it at night. So now I
Mhm.
only have to take it at night. And the reason I do that is to help me sleep better. So that's all. So that might be something. And it's a clinical study. It's amazing. I'm trying to remember now. I can't remember the person's name. I wish I could retrieve it, but she gave it to her son who has ADHD.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. The other one that was always on my list of oils, balance.
Mhm.
So if you have those days when you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. So this might be the one to grab when to bring you back to some calmness.
Mhm.
And I'm really hyper. Maybe you haven't noticed that. Balance is a good one for me to keep me from talking too fast.
Mhm.
It helps me, just come down a notch.
Right.
Yeah, if I don't take it, sometimes you don't understand me. And I've had a couple of friends that would message me and say, Footie, I think you were skipping words.
Right.
Oh, crap. Yep, I bet I was. And then I would redo the video. And sure enough, I was skipping words because my speech was going too fast.
Yeah.
So, but adaptive does the same thing. So, one thing about adaptive, I cannot tell you what's in it anymore. I mean, I'd have to go pull the bottle.
Mhm.
But balance is in it. I'm almost positive.
Okay.
Okay, Vetiver. So, Vetiver oil, this has been shown to help alleviate panic attacks,
Right.
insomnia, depression, to help people focus. Um, it's an excellent oil for aiding in like sleep. I feel it helps slow down that chatter your mind tends to do when you're rehearsing the same story. It's going over and over and over, and you can't stop it. Because I remember I was in a group one time and they said, just say stop. And I'm thinking, okay, that does not work with me.
Yes. Doesn't work for me either.
That does not work with me. But Vetiver is a good one. It's a very thick oil, so you must be patient for this oil to come out of the bottle. I
Mhm.
thought my bottle cap was damaged, so I had my hubby, make the hole bigger. And then I found out later that it's a thick oil, and it will come out slowly, like a good bottle of ketchup. Only
Right.
you can't use a knife to make it come out faster.
Right.
Yeah. So that is an oil, and I won't say her name because she's a speech therapist, but what she would do is she would if she had children that were hyper and was having trouble focusing, she would rub it on her hands
Mhm.
and then she would come up to their face. so that they could inhale it, but they
Oh,
didn't
wow.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that was a pretty clever thing to do. So that's something teachers could keep in mind. Um, so, oh my gosh, I have so many. Console. So, console is a comforting blend when you're going through grief, whether you need comfort from losing a loved one who is passed or a child leaving home.
Mhm.
It is an oil that you can inhale, rub it on your chest, diffuse it. Sometimes I send that to people, when they've lost someone. And motivate. Now, motivate's my one of my favorite oils. I started using it before I even knew what it was all about. So it's one of those oils that helps you get going in the morning when you feel lost,
Mhm.
when you feel you can't put one foot in front of the other type of day. I just love the smell, and I start my day with Motivate because sometimes I need a kick in the pants to get moving. It has nothing to do where I feel lost. For me, I'm using it just to get me motivated, just to get me going because I'm a very slow moving person in the morning. I'm not a morning person. So it takes me a while to get going. So if I diffuse, motivate, rub it around my ears, that'll get me going in the morning. But it also helps people who are just struggling, you know, like that their child has gone off to college, and they don't know what to do with their day because they've been consumed with a full schedule. Okay. So now maybe this is something that will help. Um, Peace is another emotional oil blend. It's like a reassuring blend. Oh my gosh, I could just go on and on. I'll do one more.
Mhm.
Frankincense.
Yeah.
Um, this one's been around for centuries. Egyptians and the Hebrews used the oil for church use. Catholics use it. It is shown to help reduce heart rate, the high blood pressure. So I use Frankie for everything. And if you add it to another oil, it will intensify that oil that you're using. And my friends know I drop the frankincense oil, the first thing in the morning under my tongue. Oh my God, like I said, I could just go on forever on what oils, because I know so many. It's like it's crazy. So maybe what I'll do is, I was thinking maybe I should do an emotional oil workshop. So I will look at that. I'll look at my schedule and see if I can do that for everybody. And so one thing I do, and my friends know this. So I mean, I talk about it a lot. I soak my feet at least once a week to relax and chill because I walk every day, and now my goal is 10,000 or more steps a day. So sometimes my feet they're just screaming. They're just crying because, um, Bobby, you don't know this, but I broke my ankle, fractured it really bad, and then 10 years later, last year actually, I broke the fifth bone. I mean,
Oh
oh my
gosh.
gosh, I'm terrible. So it's taken me forever to get my body back in shape. It's been a long road. So sometimes when I overdo it, which I really try not to, um, I just come home. I grab a dish pan. I get one like at the dollar store or Walmart. I fill it with hot water. I put a cup of Epsom salts, a quarter cup of baking soda, and 10 drops of my favorite oil. You can
Mhm.
use any oil that I've mentioned this evening to try. It doesn't matter, really. It's what you want. And if it's at the end of the night, well, of course, you don't want to put cheer. You want to put something that's going to help you sleep.
Yeah.
So, this is something that you could incorporate. Your friends could incorporate. They could, it's something that will help relax them. That
Mhm.
they could do it while they're watching TV. You can
Sounds
do
simple.
Yeah, it's so simple. You can do it while you're reading a book. You could do it while you're working, And so I just bring it wherever I am and I just sit and I soak my feet. So I don't necessarily have to not do anything. I can
Mhm.
incorporate it and it's okay. Some people think that, oh no, you can't do that self-care stuff and merge it with work. Yes, you can. I think it's important that it's like you're treating yourself at the same
Mm.
time. You're going to eat something at the same time you work, and you're going to drink something at the same time you work.
Yeah.
And so why not soak your feet while you're
I
working?
think the problem is generalizations, and the only
Yes,
meaning anything really has is the meaning that we place on it. So, if we're doing two things that we are deeming enjoyable, like if we love our work and we're soaking our feet, we're telling ourselves it's a-okay. So,
exactly. Yes. So, okay. So all the oils I've mentioned, you can get them in the bottles,
mhm.
okay? You can get them in the bottles, or you can get them in the roller balls, which I like because I can throw this right in my purse. And the reason I want to show you that, whoops,
Oh,
has a
yeah.
little ball,
Mhm.
and you can just go like that and you don't have to touch anything. But here's the cool thing. All right, this is mixed with coconut oil. So here's the cool thing. You can buy roller balls and you can remove, and I show this all the time. Oh my gosh, I can never get this right. You can remove that cap and you can attach a roller ball on it. So I do that in other things and I show that in my group. So it's whatever's easy for you to do. It's so simple. I mean, you don't have to. Ooh, what did I just put on? Oh my, yeah, I just grabbed you. Yeah. Oh, Melissa. I love Melissa. Um, yeah, yay, yay. So anyway, yes. So it's so easy. So like sometimes people say to me, oh, I love my oil, I'm gonna make up something like on guard, but they don't want to put it on their hands because maybe they're driving or maybe
Mhm.
they're doing something or they're worried about getting it in their eyes. And so I always say, oh, rollerball. You don't have to worry. It's that simple, so you don't have to deal with any of that stuff.
Mhm.
So, oh my gosh, this was so much fun. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad you joined us this
Thank
evening.
you.
We all want to know, how is your hubby?
He is feeling better. He hurt his back, which then produced sciatic pains. So, yeah, a little bit of a painful period, but he's on the mend. Thank you.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah,
We were
yeah, that'll
worried.
teach him. It'll teach him
Yes,
to lift heavy things at work.
got to go to the doctors. You worry. You think, oh no,
Oh,
what's
for
going
sure.
on?
Yeah, he was just in a lot of pain and needed a bit of help that evening. But I appreciate your flexibility.
Tell him to
Yeah.
do the child's pose yoga
Okay.
position.
Okay.
Tell him to do that, and that will help with his sciatica.
Yep.
There's another pose. I'm trying to retrieve it. It'll come to me, and then I'll message you.
Thank you.
Yes, but child's pose. And tell him to make sure he spreads his legs so his belly hits the floor, so
Right.
he's comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
yeah, that will be good. Yes. Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, are there any more suggestions? Anything before we close for the evening? I'm just checking. Julie
Mhm.
says, thank you, ladies. I enjoyed listening. Thank you, Julie, for joining us. I don't know if you know Julie Fairhurst,
No.
but
No.
you do?
I don't know her. I think I'd like to.
Oh, you do want to get to know her.
Yes.
She is the author of the Women Like Me books.
Oh, okay. I don't. I'd love to know more about her.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I will hook you up with
Thank
her, and
you.
there's several of us that write short stories in her
Yes.
books.
Yes.
Yes, and yeah, it's. I will send you my gratitude one.
That would be
But
perfect.
thank you
Thank
for
you so
coming in.
much.
Yes. All right. Thank you everyone for showing up. Thank you so much, Bobbi, for joining us and joining
Thank
me for
you.
this evening. It's just been absolutely
It's
amazing.
been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Footie.
Yes. Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I
Take
love
care.
you. Mwah. I will see you next Thursday. Tea time with Footie. Bye bye.